Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. This Friday before a week off for me. Let's people join. I guess I should tell people I'm live. Let's see here. YouTube and Twitch. Got it. Boom. Slack doesn't want to like linkify youtube.infinite.red. It will do infinite.red, but not youtube.infinite.red. Let's see. I'm just gonna add like the HTTPS part in the front, and then it'll behave. I think. We'll see. Got to post this in a couple spots. Hey, Yuba. I think I missed your chat because it didn't show up in my multi-stream, but I see it on the stream, so... Anyway, how you doing? Let me put this in a couple of places. Let's see here. There we go. Unless my stream chat's just not working, I don't know. Hopefully it's working. I'll see how it goes during the stream, but yeah. Probably going to be a little bit shorter stream today. Let's see here. So, I've actually been coding off stream a little bit. I did some work on API sauce, and for those of you not familiar with API sauce, it is a wrapper. It's a JavaScript wrapper around Axios. Axios is like probably one of the more popular. Yeah, hey, thanks, Yura. That is Calvin and Hobbes, as drawn by my wife, Kyra. She drew that, so she did a great job with it, I think. But API sauce, I'll open it up here. Let's see here. It lets you do like requests from JavaScript and wraps API sauce. Depends on Axios. Ooh, this should be TypeScript. Let's say compatible with. Node in the browser and React Native. Supports Node, the browser, and React Native. All right. So what I did though was I removed Ramda, which was way overused within this whole thing. So I removed Ramda, and that actually dropped the build size quite a bit. I dropped it from like, I don't know, it was like 19K down to 6K or something like that, 18K down to 6K. So what I need to do now is deploy this. I think it works. So I need to deploy it and see if it works. Whoops. Oh, I hate that. I go to click Command comma, and I hit Command M instead, and it just minimizes it. All right. Infinite red API sauce. So I do have a pull request out for this. I am going to get to the PNPM stuff a little bit later, but I'm going to knock out this first. So I got a little bit of feedback from Brian Stearns. Got an approval. So this is essentially what's going on here. Let me kind of show you. What we're doing is we're removing Ramda. This is an interesting thing. So I did a lot of this with GitHub Copilot, by the way. This is the change I just made up there. And then this is just formatting. Steve Kellogg originally built this at Infinite Red, and he doesn't support it anymore. So we're moving everything over to Infinite Red. Removing Ramda. And then everything that used to be Ramda, like all this r.pipe, rs, which is Ramda sauce, dot path, concat, blah, 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 is now just this. It's like so much easier to read, right? Maybe not as clever. Instead of getting this and then doing like this dot path thing, I just do that. There's a bunch of like dependencies that need to be updated. So in the actual API sauce main library, we were using all of these, and I actually was able to like take it. This is longer, but it's easier to understand. So instead of is nil, is number, and then everything else, I just say if it's a date, which I actually probably don't need this, to be honest, but that's okay. If the type of value is number or null or undefined, we just return the value. And then otherwise we just try to coerce number. And then we have better is within. Like this is just doing like a bunch of stuff here that probably not really worth it. Get rid of all the Ramda stuff there. These are all curried functions. I removed that and just made them normal functions. Yeah, I mean, you can review it if you want. Let's see. Oh, I still have this somehow. I thought I got rid of that. Let me make sure. Hey, Vamshi. Yura says, gosh, I remember when I came to my first job, my first project was written all in Ramda. It's really hard to understand for a trainee or junior. Man, I'm with you on that. I am with you on that. And I'm not a junior, but to me it was just a waste of time, right? So like this is pipe P. What is pipe P? I don't know what pipe P is. I hate Ramda, says Yura. Vamshi says plus in JS will convert to number equivalent to number or %. Oh, okay, that's helpful. I think number is probably a little more explicit, right? So it's nice to be explicit about stuff. But yeah, we don't need this anymore. So this chain, I'll tell you what it was before. Pipe P, whatever that is, which actually I do know what it is, but like who would know otherwise? It's basically piping promises. And then it does this, it basically awaits for this 2-number new date, which I'm basically doing this 2-number new date outside of this chain because that happens outside of the chain in this. It's a little hard to understand. I actually had to do some real like digging to figure out, oh, this is actually done prior to convert response. So we need to make sure that that happens outside of there. Start time. Convert response, start time. Takes that response and converts it. And then it runs the monitors on it, which is right here, and we're returning that. So, so we don't need this version of it anymore. I can just delete that. And I think we're good on that. All the tests work. They actually work better now. I think it is much smaller now than it used to be. So, yeah. We're going to push this up. Yarn test just to make sure. Actually, there's a yarn dist command, which I'll run after this. By the way, we're not using jest on this. We're using Ava. Why? Well, it was around a long time ago when we used to use Ava. We could convert this to jest. That'd be kind of a fun little project, you know. I don't think there's any jest here. Nope, there isn't. Yeah. Anyway, everything good there? Everything's good, good. So I think once this finishes doing its final thing, we're going to go ahead and merge it. And I'm going to actually, let's see here. So this is just a fix. It shouldn't actually add any features or remove any features. Deps. Removing Ramda from prod build, or I'll just say removes Ramda.js by Jamin Holmgren. All right, and I think we're good here on this. Yep, it passed, so we're good to go, and I can actually release a new version of API Sauce that removes Ramda. And I'm going to, once it releases this version, so we're on 2.13, which I released a bit ago. It was a TypeScript generics fix. Once this comes out, 2.14, I'm going to edit the feature, and I'm going to tweet about this. Alpha, happy Friday. It's going really well. I've been having a good day so far. Just, you know, kind of, I got enough sleep finally for once. Like the whole week I've been running on too little sleep. All my own fault. Hey, Derek. All my own fault because I was going to bed too late and I have a hard wake up time to get my kids off to school. Something that Derek doesn't have to do anymore. Derek's daughter no longer has to be woken up for the school bus. Kate says playing Minecraft. I did play Minecraft last night, actually. I did. I didn't play it too late, but I played it. But yeah. B Migs, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Always nice to get new followers. Very much appreciated. But yeah, we're waiting for 2.14 to come out. Should come out pretty quick here. Oh, there it is. Boom, just like that. So 2.14 is now landed. Java or Bedrock? What's Bedrock? It was the Java edition. It was, I didn't know there was a Bedrock. Is like Bedrock like the Windows version or something? Alpha says, glad to hear I've had similar sleep schedule, but today was the first day of my 2-week holiday break, so I'm looking forward to relaxing over Christmas break. Hey, that's great. You get 2 weeks off? That's really nice. That's really nice. We just get next week off. Someone should talk to the boss about that. No, I love having at least this 1 week off. That's pretty nice. Removes Ramda. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, and it says bug fixes, but I'm going to say performance improvements. And I'm going to say Let's see here. Oh, actually, if I go to that PR, I think I have, yeah, right there. I can put this in there. This release removes Ramda.js. But not the production builds and the tests. And then we should be able to update that release. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, 7.6 to 6. I don't know why this is such a massive difference here. But, yeah. So 2.14, definitely worth upgrading to if you're using API sauce. We also get 1 week, last week of the year, but this year, because we've had multiple product launches and everyone has been working hard, they give us next week off just to relax. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Well, congrats on that. Sounds like a productive year. Doing anything over the Christmas break or just hanging out with the family? My wife's having surgery, so it's relatively minor, but we're gonna just make sure that we, you know, kind of keep it chill. Probably hang out with my mom and dad and siblings, families who live in this area. Do a little more of that, and let her recover from that. So, yeah, I mean, more chill. I'm gonna try to spend a lot of time with my kids. You know, they're growing up so fast, and as Derek can attest, they are off to college soon enough. I mean, one of my oldest is almost 17, so yeah. Thanks for asking. How about you, Alpha? Any Christmas breaks? You know, you said you're gonna relax, but otherwise, do you have anything else going on? And anybody else who's listening, do you have anything going on? Yura says, do you notice some problem with the battery in Metro on M1 Pro or Max? Looks like when I just leave the package or when Mac is sleeping, it took about 50% of the battery. I use Node V12 as I have old dependencies. Are you using Node? Did you install Node? Is it using Intel or is it using, and you can tell this by going to, let's go to Activity Monitor. Is it using Intel or is it using Apple Silicon? So let me see if I can find Node in here. Maybe I don't have Node running. Let me run Yarn Ava watch or something like that. I don't know if it'll allow me to watch. Oh, it does. Cool. Okay, so now Node should be running, right? Yep, there's Node. And you can see, if you look closely here, you can see that it's running on Apple. You got to make sure it's running on Apple. That's a big thing. If it's on Rosetta. Hey, Darren. I hope it goes well and wish for a speedy recovery. Thank you. Yeah, I think it'll go well. We've waited for 4 months because the hospitals are full of COVID patients, unfortunately. Going down to Florida to visit my brother this week of Christmas, so it'll be nice to get away from the New York City cold for a bit. Yeah, Florida sounds nice about this time of year. Yura says, I know installed Node as AX86 like Intel. Yeah, so that, I would not do that. I would install it. You can install the older version, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think you can install the older version for Apple Silicon. I don't know, actually. I don't... Oh, it doesn't work on M1. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. When you leave the package or the Mac sleeps 650. Yeah, I don't trust anything that's Intel anymore. So I'm gonna go promote this, and I'm gonna go look for. I'm gonna search for. My previous tweet about API sauce. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. So I have a tweet. Get a lock file. Maybe. Release published with the smaller size. Please test if you're using API sauce and let me know if there are any issues. So we're going to give that a shot. Get that pushed up there. So, yeah. Do you use NVM or install it via the installer? I actually use N. I use N. I like N the most. So it lets me like choose which one, and I can add other ones too. But like any one of these, hit enter, and I'm now. If I go node version, once it's up, it's now on the new version. And if I go, let's say I want to do like node 16, I just do N16. And whoops, I'm too far down. You can't see what I'm doing. And it installed the latest version, and now if I go node version, it works. N is my favorite by far. I like it better than NVM. Yeah. GitHub and node manager. It's TJ/N is the one here. And you can just install it like with brew, I think. Brew install N. Oh, npm install -g -n. I don't know. Is it brew info N? Let's see. Yeah, I used brew to install it. Yeah, node version management. So I like that one. NVM has too many bells and whistles. Yeah, that's part of it. Like this is just straightforward, simple, like doesn't do too much. It's the same thing with RVM with Ruby. I wasn't a big fan of RVM either. And I went with this. Or I went with I used chruby actually for that. Okay. So, done with that. Let's go let's see, I already. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Let's go take a look at. So I've been using PNPM on Ignite and trying to support it. Now, what's my latest right now? By the way, you see this line right here, import and flatten from Ramda, blah, blah, blah. That's what sent me down this whole API sauce thing. And I was like, yarn y Ramda. Actually, no, I think it was PNPM y Ramda. Oh, I have to yarn. That's right. So I haven't totally gotten away from yarn for this branch. Found Ramda 0.24. Glue gun, Ramda sauce depends on it. Hoisted from Ramda in Ramda sauce. So why is glue gun using Ramda sauce? So that led me to glue gun. And I go yarn y Ramda. API sauce depends on it. Hoisted from API sauce, right? So what I need to do is yarn upgrade API sauce to the latest, which is of course the one we just released, right? There's a method to my madness here. API sauce is now 2.14. Axios 21. So now if I do yarn y Ramda, it doesn't exist, I guess. So let's go look. API sauce bumped from 2.0.1 to 2.1.4. And as far as I know, Ramda is gone now. You see here? Ramda's gone. Axios is updated. Boom. Okay. Now, removes or upgrades API sauce, removes Ramda. Dep. Push that up. to Ramda sauce, or sorry, to glue gun. So let's go look at glue gun right here. Why Ramda is the same answer as all functional programming. It starts in good intentions and ends in tears. Gant always ready with the pithy comment. That's good. That's good. That's a tweet. That's a tweet. I don't know why he saves all his good stuff for like private conversations, but that's a tweet. So glue gun here. Let's go. We have some pull requests, by the way. That's mine. And then this one's also mine. And I ran into problems with all this crap, so I ended up... Yeah. By the way, have these... we got some test failures. Darn. Well, let's run yarn tests. Let's see what the test failures are. All of this so we can get rid of Ramda in Ignite. Okay, what do we got? Cannot find name starts with. Template extension. Oh, that's a Ramda thing. Source core extensions. All right, let's bring this open. Okay, there it is. I don't care about starts with, for one thing. What I do want to do is do eMessage to contain template not found. So that's a much better way to write that. Here's the problem. Let me kind of give you a little overview of this. Why do you think functional programming ends in tears? So here's the problem with this. Notice what we're doing here. We're basically doing a comparison, and then it returns true or false, right? And then to be true. So the only thing it knows is this was false and is supposed to be true. Not good. So if I go this way and I say eMessage to contain template not found, it says, hey, template not found, I couldn't find it. So I couldn't find the string. So here's the string I got, and you have much more information about why the test failed. So let's try running this. Somebody has experience in fling gesture handler from gesture handler and section list. Just tried to implement swipe left or right on the list, but it just blocked the scroll of the section list. Ooh. You know, I did that, Yura, on a previous React Native Live. YouTube.infinite.red, and then I'm going to search this channel for, let me see if I can go, let's see here. What would I be? No. How do I search just this? Our videos. Give me a second here. I might be able to find it. I found it. I found it. I don't know. This is swipe to delete though. This is probably a little different, hey? Is this might be different. Gant says it starts awesome, and next thing you know, you're typing use effect and fighting encapsulation barriers to remain pure. I know it makes sense, but sometimes we do quite an elaborate dance for functional programming. It makes sense if JavaScript was purely functional programming. Yeah, I agree with Gant in that. By the way, yeah, you can find this just by looking for React Native Live with Jamin implementing swipe to delete. You can find this older August one. But yeah, that's, I don't know if that will apply, to be honest. But like Gant's right, like I would probably go with Elm or something like that if you really want functional programming. If you're doing it in JavaScript, you're just forcing a square peg into a round hole. Now, I do like functional programming, and I actually use functional programming wherever it makes sense. And I did Elm, and I like all that stuff. But yeah. By the way, this all passed, so fix failing test. Let's push that up and see what happens. I'm going to go here and say this removes Ramda from glue gun. Update, and then this, it says still exists in API sauce, not true anymore. Okay. Fix failing test, and then we have, well, it's running right now, so we'll see how that goes. Yura says, but it's about swipe on item of list. My case is like swipe on a container that wraps section list. That's an interesting one. Alpha says, I don't think it's particularly bad to have both OOP and FP paradigms supported in the same language. I think they have their use cases depending on what you're doing. For writing pure UI, I think FP is an excellent candidate, but other scenarios less so. Are you saying, Alpha, that the right answer to this is it depends? The reason I'm smirking is because it's true. The answer to everything, every like complex question is it depends. Swift UI adopting functional programming for the UI part and any behind the scenes logic for using OOP and other paradigms. Yeah. Also because the behind the scenes logic and stuff is, well, it was designed back in the 80s. Like it's still building on that stuff. MST or GraphQL? Why not both? Yura. Ooh, what did I just do? What did I just do? I don't know what I just did. Fix failing test failed. What? 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 The name of the commit should have told it that it needed to not fail. Okay, what do we got going on here? Okay, all the tests did pass. What is this? Type Axios request config is not generic. Oh. I wonder if that changed in the latest version of... Okay, TSC. So yarn build... Okay, let's try running yarn build. See if we run into the same problem. I think we will, probably. Yeah, we did. I wonder if this is like something in the newest Axios. Let me just do a quick... okay. So, interesting. Could I get the actual error here? Whoops. No results found for that. What version of Axios are we even using here? It always depends, says Alpha. I saw a tweet the other day that said everything is temporary, so despite us arguing about which paradigm is the proper one, I'm sure someone will be rewatching this in 100 years after many better paradigms have come out and laughing a little. In 100 years, they'll probably just be like, why are people coding? Just tell the machine what you want. And like coding, like seriously, punch cards. Let's see, where's Axios in this? Don't see Axios. I'm gonna verify. By the way, this is a little bit, yeah, so it's not in there. So it's not outdated. Yarn Y Axios. 021. What is the version of Axios, by the way? But yeah, I mean, drag and drop, no code movement with, I don't even think it'll be that. Not in 100 years. It's not beyond the, I mean, you literally, yeah, it's doing 80% of the work now, and you can like, you honestly could just tell the computer, right now you could probably tell the computer, I want this kind of app, and it could do but it could try to do something, and you can do it with your voice, like, because we've got good natural language translation now, like all the pieces are there, just people haven't put it all together yet. But in 10 years, yeah, you're right. Maybe not 100. Not like I'll know. I'm already 40. I'm not gonna live to 140, and if I do, I'm not gonna care about this. Skills for teams. Thanks for the follow. What kind of skills? What version? How come it doesn't show what version? No version? Really? Guess if I go here, 0.24 is out, and what do we have? 21.4? Okay. So the problem with it's 0, right? So like upgrading from 20 to 21, I actually want to go look at the release 21 and see if maybe they broke something there. I realize you guys can't see this. Let's go to 0.21. Okay, so they're breaking changes anywhere in here? Actually, what was the is Axios request config adding insecure HTTP? That's 23. We're not on 23 yet. This is the only change to Axios request config. So why is this not? Why is this? I don't get this. Agile of tech skills. Or tech skills. Or for tech skills? What's OD? Skills to pay the bills. Nice. I like it. Skills to pay the bills. Not a... Okay, so let's just go look at this. Maybe there's a way for us to avoid this entirely. Wait, what? This is an API sauce. Oh, it's an API sauce. Why is this failing? First off, why are we even... Okay. Whoops. There's API sauce. Okay, so this is not generic. Why? Do I just get rid of that? Like, just go like that? But we're not getting, like, what's the deal here? So I guess Axios request config does not care about this anymore. Or maybe it never did and it's just now figuring that out. API sauce config. So we're adding base URL and Axios instance. Technical skills like development or testing, coaching teams, and self-organization. Oh, that's cool. When did you get into that? Like, how long ago? So, API sauce should, well, I'm not gonna second guess this right now, but like, shouldn't this be our API sauce config rather than the Axios request config? To me, that feels off, but I could be wrong. I guess if we're just passing that through, but that's okay. We can release a new version. Is there like a yarn TSC? Let's see. Remove generic. Let's hear. Let's do fix generic Axios types. Remove generic from. Oh, too much. And then I do have to pull down and then merge master. What? What's going on here? Oh, well, whatever. We know what version we are. Okay, let's resolve conflicts. All right. Coding I started someday in the 90s. Well, coaching and training came in the 2010s, mostly with PHP. Even developed myself a lot, but React is not my favorite, but nice to see a bit of it. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Skills. Appreciate it. 90s, I started probably 1991, 1992, somewhere in there. Not professionally. I was a kid. Started with QBasic. What did you start with? What language? So yarn TSC. So I'm curious if this would have been caught if so if I like put all that crap back in and then run this, would it have been caught? It's not caught. So what? I guess I don't get it. It's not doing type checking. If types change, you have to manually change it? This seems like a ridiculous thing to do. How do we output in tsconfig output dts file? Oh, is it because? Oh, well, that's from JavaScript. That's not what we don't want that. So I think what we need to do here is there's like a types. No. There's like a, let's see here. It's like an output. I guess I forget how to like. Well, let me go look at GlueGun itself. GlueGun I know does this. There's a DTS file, but where it gets dropped right in here somewhere. Types. DTS. See all this DTS stuff? So what are we doing differently here? DTS config. Declaration. Okay, yeah. Types for others to consume. Yeah, see there? That's what we're looking for right there. Declaration true, and then instead of build types, we're gonna go dist types. Or we could even just go. No, that's fine. We can just do that, and then yarn build. All right. And then in our dist, we don't have a types. So are we not building using tsc-p dot? Let's see what happens here. There's types. So here's our types. But then this is like way more detailed, isn't it? Const client error. Do we have all that? We do. Wonder how close these are. They're obviously going to be different. Import all that stuff from Axios. Axios instance is any there, and let's go to create. Config is this, and we're actually grabbing it from Axios. So these actually look inferior because we have some any's in here that shouldn't be any's. Yeah, there's a lot of any's in here. Axios request in config. This should not be an any. PHP banned. Hey, I did PHP. That was my first production language. Or well, not necessarily. I got paid to write VBA for a while, but PHP was like when I started my company. So let's see here. Sorry, my daughter just texted me. Okay. So these don't look better. I don't think it's something to fix right now, but at some point we're going to want to make these better. You know, we're going to want to output good types and somehow fix that. You know, maybe probably by, I would assume, upgrading TypeScript and just having a better overall setup here. This is not set up as well as it could be. This whole system here. So, but I think we're good here. Let's see. What did we change? So we did remove those generics there, and then just change that formatting. So remove. Let's see here. Fix types. Remove Axios request config generic. Okay. I can never get rid of PHP. I don't know why, even as an agile coach on an ops team, some student would scream, I have to do PHP for a project. Can someone help me out? PHP is, it's different now than it used to be, but like for a long time, that was what most of the internet was written in. And interestingly, Facebook has done a bunch of internal tooling to make PHP better. So there's like Hack and HHVM. Hack and HHVM are internal things. So, all right, let's go back to API sauce. I think we need to do another release here, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Let's go to API sauce. Compare and pull request. was with the latest update, I'm getting an error. What is the latest update again? It is 2.1.4. And then let's drop that error in. So that people can find that in the future. This update fixes the Axios request config type to remove the generic, which apparently has gone away. All right. And I'll probably just merge this one and deploy it without, you know. Wait, why is this 17 commits? Oh. I know why now. I should have gone off of master. So let's grab, so this is kind of an interesting situation, all right? So what you want to do is you go git checkout master, right? Git checkout, actually, let's see, this one here. So just grab that commit hash, git reset hard that, so that will bring us back to that commit, the master commit. And then what I want to do is git cherry pick, and I want to dump in the hash for the commit that I just did, and I want to git push -- force. So what all of that did was basically go back to master, just grab the commit we want, not all of the other ones that were squashed, and then cherry pick just that on top of it, push it up, force it to update. So now if I go to my conversation, go back to commits, refresh. Why is it still showing all of it? Okay. Just this one here. Just this one commit, right? Now if I go to files changed, it's that's weird. Did I not fix? Oh, really? Okay, so somehow I lost that. All right, whatever. So let's get rid of those. Actually, I want to make sure I'm on the right. Get rid of that. Okay. Actually remove the generic. Push that up. Okay. Now there's 2 commits. There we go. That's what we're looking for. All right. So, wow, we're up to 18 viewers. Dang. Nice to have you all with me. I appreciate it. I really do. It's really awesome that people hang out with me and do some coding. We are going to get to the PNPM stuff. Maybe. I hope so. If not, we'll do it next time. You know, just you gotta go with the flow. If it isn't fun, I won't do it, right? So it's gotta be fun. I think I can go. Yeah, I can keep going. I can keep going actually through lunch. Well, through till like 1 p.m. All right. So if this passes, and yeah, we've got this whole thing here. Issue is with, or CI issue is with API sauce, fix incoming. Okay. There we go. Looks like it's working. Let's merge it and deploy it. So types. Update Axios types. Okay. So we'll merge that. Hopefully that will release, and then we can update to the latest version of API sauce. Yeah, I didn't mind PHP, to be honest. I really didn't. There are things that are annoying about it for sure, but there are definitely things about it that are annoying, but they've made it better over time. And but yeah, I mean, when I switched to Ruby, I was like, oh, I really like Ruby. But now I like types. So what can I say? You know? What can I say? All right, let's go to API sauce. Make sure 2.15 comes out. I just didn't realize that API sauce requires manual updating of types. Also, there was nothing that really told me that those types were wrong other than going to the types file and having it tell me that. So that's great. Why did you switch from Ruby to React Native? Yeah, that's a great question, Yura. So, story time. 2010, 2011, I bought an iPad 2, second edition of the iPad. And I was pretty happy with it. I thought it was really cool, and I wanted to code for it. So I went and learned Objective-C, which was very difficult for me. Very difficult. But I learned it, and I was able to start hacking with that. But I was a Ruby developer at the time, right? And because I switched to Ruby in 2010, and I was like, okay, this is, I was kind of complaining to one of my developers. And he sends me this thing a little bit later. He's like, hey, this thing just came out. It's called Ruby Motion. Let's go take a look at that. RubyMotion.com. Write cross-platform apps for iOS, Android, and OS X. Notice the OS X there in Ruby. And so I got really into this, and I wrote a bunch of apps, and we actually started just building apps for iOS in Ruby Motion. So I knew Objective-C, but Ruby Motion was writing Ruby, and it was more or less the same thing. It was based on Cocoa Ruby. What was it called? Mac Ruby or something like that. So Ruby Motion was fun. However, that's how Mark says that's how we met. Exactly. Back in 2012, 2013, something like that, Mark and I got connected. Fun times. So anyway, we're doing that. And then in 2015, we went to Paris, and that's when Infinite Red was born, by the way. Met with Todd and Ken, who were my business partners at the time, or became my business partners. Now, of course, Gant is the third business owner in the partnership, but at the time it was Todd and Ken. Actually, Gant was there too, and Mark, and a bunch of other people, Darren, and Derek, and yeah, it was a fun time in Paris. And the thing that was kind of interesting was around that time we were starting to think, Ruby Motion's not doing so well. The conference was not well attended. I mean, it was in Paris, but you'd think that you'd have European developers, right? We had a few. So we started thinking about alternatives, and not long afterward, the owner of Ruby Motion ended up selling. So, did this update? It did. Sweet. So we can go to 2.15. Let me do that. Yarn upgrade. Okay. So went to started looking around, and React Native had come out also at almost the same time. It was like very, very great timing. And so in September of 2015, React Native came out, and we were really looking for an alternative for React Native, for Ruby Motion, as I said, because we didn't want to go back to doing Objective-C or even Swift, you know. Update. Let's see here. API sauce. I want to get this CI going here while I talk. All right, there we go. And so because we had a lot of people coming to us for cross-platform apps, and we needed a framework to do this on. Todd Worth spent some time looking at it, and he came back and said, "I think it's good. I think it's pretty solid." He is a really good developer. Doesn't do as much developing anymore, but at the time he had done a lot of Ruby Motion. He knew his stuff, and he looked at it and he said, "This is good." So we went with it. We converted over 2 projects that were kind of like about to get started from Ruby Motion to React Native, and really didn't look back after that. And we've just been doing React Native ever since. We were actually doing Ember and Ruby on Rails at the time, and we switched from Ember to React for obvious reasons, because, you know, React Native didn't make sense to keep doing Ember. And we also reevaluated our backend stack and went from Ruby on Rails to Elixir for a while, Phoenix, and but then that eventually sort of died, and so we more or less stopped doing a lot of backend. We do a little bit of Ruby on Rails for one client. Darren leads that team, and we do have some Node stuff that we're starting to do, but all that stuff is just side stuff. It's not like our main business. Our main business is just React Native. We don't even do React anymore, like just React Native. So hope that answers your question, Yura. I also hope this finishes running. It's a little slower because it does like a whole thing where it does like it spins up an app, and then it builds things, and it runs commands and blah, blah, blah. See this? So I'm hoping this passes. I have a question. What do you do when something doesn't work well in React Native, so you can't implement the same feature? What do you tell the client? Oh, fantastic. Fantastic question. So, as you may know, I've been working on React Native Colo Loco, right? And the cool thing about React Native is you can drop down to native anytime you want. So there's nothing you can do with native that you can't do with React Native. React Native is on top of native. It allows you to write native. React Native Colo Loco lets you even drop those files in next to the React Native files, like the TSX files. So what we would say is, we can't do it with React Native. We're going to write it in native. And then I call up Mark on Slack, and I say, hey, or Leon, or myself in rare cases, not anymore really. And let's build this thing. And we have a few others who can do native as well. Lizzie, there's a few others. I think Julian can do some native stuff, although I don't know how much he's done. But like there's a lot of our developers that have native experience, and they can just jump in and actually build it in Objective-C or Swift or Kotlin or Java, and then off to the races. You build a interface with React Native, so you can trigger stuff using JavaScript, and you move on. That's one of the best things. By the way, we got a success here, so we can release this version. Let's see. Oh, it's actually running on Windows as well. I don't know how long that will take. I'm gonna clean up some of my tabs here while I'm doing that. In progress. Azure. I mean, it looks like all the tests pass, so this should also hopefully work. Yeah, we'll let this thing roll. I like the questions, Yura. Keep them coming. They're fun. It's fun to kind of go back and re-examine some of our decisions and stuff like that. Does anybody else have next week off? Or are you working? Obviously, for those of us in the U.S. and a lot of other Western countries, sort of have holiday breaks happening around this time. Probably not the case for everybody. Why is this taking so long? I guess it's the integration tests. It'd be nice to have more insight into what's happening. That's Azure for you, though. So once we have that, I'm actually going to go back here, and once we have glue gun pushed out, I can upgrade glue gun, and then Ramda kind of goes away. All right, let's see what else we're doing here. So query string jest 26. All right, so yarn test. This can run, and I actually have to do yarn CI test to do the full thing. This is just a kind of a smoke test here. No, actually, it's doing the whole thing right now. It's doing Ignite new, so we'll let that run. I think this is gonna fail though, and the reason it's gonna fail is because I actually don't know why. We need to figure out why. Still sitting here. Thanks a lot. I feel like if it's past Uncircle CI, I can merge it. So I'm gonna do that. Fix deps removes Ramda and Ramda sauce from glue gun. Obviously it's from glue gun by Jamin Holmgren, and then yeah, let's just merge that. If this thing does fail, I mean, I guess we'll find out. But so this is gonna be in flight. We're gonna get a new version of glue gun pushed out. What version of glue gun are we even on? Let's see, package JSON 4.5. If I go to the glue gun stuff here, 4.7 is out, so we're gonna have to upgrade anyway. Let's see here, 4.7 add style options for tables, 4.6 add highlight and muted to print toolbox, and we're on 4.5. So I don't think there's much. Dependency API sauce to 2.01. That's an older. This is a while ago. So we did just have a release there, but this will be 4.7.1. I think we can upgrade. In fact, I'm going to upgrade Ignite. No, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for it to finish here. Still going, TS lint, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why it's taking so long. All right, so yeah, 4.7.1 once this finishes releasing. And in the meantime, we can let Ignite go. Thanks, really interesting because I've lived in the outsourced world for three plus years, and sometimes clients just don't want to expend money. It's hard to explain, for example, why I can't implement something. No, I get it. Here's the reality. As developers, we have a lot of power. And yeah, people will be like, hey, I don't want to spend money. And you can say, well, you're not going to get what you want then. It costs money. It does. It costs way too much money. I'm sorry. Like, there's nothing we can do about it. Just what development is. I mean, we can get better at it. You know, GitHub Copilot helps and stuff. But yeah, I mean, what you can do is you can be like, it's not that I can't implement it, it's that it can't be implemented. If you hire someone else, they're not going to do it either. So, you know, that's the reality. You either hire someone else to do the exact same thing and cost the exact same amount, or you don't do it. So it's not you like feeling like you're being bad or doing something bad, you know? Luis says, working, I took most of November to visit the US. Oh, cool. Where'd you go in the US? So, still waiting for a release here. Nope, it's out now. Awesome. I'm actually really curious to see if there's a difference in the size. Yarn upgrade glue gun to latest. Now, I'm gonna wait until the test fails, which it's going to. But we're gonna do that. Now I feel better, says Yura. Yeah, I mean, I understand you want to do well, right? You want to impress your client. It may feel like the power dynamic is off, you know, like they have all the power, they can just go to someone else, right? It's true, and people always have that option, but they're not going to get a better result. And you can tell them that. Yeah, you can go with someone else. They're not going to be able to do it either. I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for a long time. You don't have to be adversarial about it, but you can say it, you know, like, hey, you know, we've been doing this for a long time. And, you know, I'm sorry. It just takes what it takes. I'm always if they say, well, you know, like, isn't there a better way to do it? I say, I'm always looking for better ways to do stuff. I'm constantly. That's why I am as good as I am, because that's my constant thing, is I'm always looking. Man, these tests take so friggin' long. That's one reason I want to go with PNPM, to be honest. It'll be slightly faster at least. Man, if someone knew a way to speed this up. I don't know how to speed it up, to be honest. There's a lot going on, you know. Has to spin up new apps, has to yarn, blah, blah, blah. If we could switch it to use PNPM, I think that would help. It'd be faster, to some degree at least. But yeah, I don't know. Still running. Jerome Wolf, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out today. Always nice. Always nice to get more people in the stream. Fun. Use C#, says John. Zabrowski. That's hilarious. Like, broski is something that, I don't know if you're American or not, but people use broski all the time. Yo, broski. But that's cool. Last name, is it like Polish? Zabrowski? Or is it something else? Anyway, use C#. Just kidding. But a language with a faster compiler would be the only way, and most of these sacrifice interactivity for faster batch compilation. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, we're a little bit stuck with... you know what I did? Let me show you. I mean, we got nothing else to do while we're waiting for this, right? Let me go show you something. So I started by adding a bunch of performance marks to basically our process here to sort of like performance test how fast it was going. And I actually wrote a Rust script. Let's see here. Oh, geez, this is gonna be hard to find. There's a reason why this is all just messed up here. Dot. I forget what. Dot R. What is it? RT? RS? Oh yeah. Okay, so I actually wrote a Rust script here. So we're using the CLI. It's like a CLI parser right there. And I dumped out some stuff and I grabbed like inflector cases, Pascal case, 2 Pascal case. And progress bar. I was just like playing with that a little bit. But I actually went and got all the files in the boilerplate directory and copied them over just to see if that would be faster. It was faster. It was like half the... Wait, what? Oh, snapshots. Yeah, that's right. We're on snapshots. Snapshots are failing right now. I need to figure out why. But I don't remember exactly... Okay, I need to go here. Bar. And is that the bar? I don't know if this is the bar. Snapshot. Is this, it is yarn, so actually let me. Yarn test update snapshot. Okay. So I'm gonna run that, but so yeah, as you can see here, I was doing some, so this copy dir all, for example, and it grabs all of the files. It was a lot faster, but this wasn't the slow part. Like the slow part was actually me running yarn, stuff like that, stuff I don't have a lot of control over. So Yura says, it's interesting. Why do you stream like when people are working? For me, it's good because right now I have 10 p.m. and I can chill and watch your stream. So maybe in the US, night it would be more viewers. I've tried that. It hasn't worked as well as I thought. The reality is why I stream is this is stuff I would need to do anyway. This is stuff I need to do anyway for my job. And so I'm doing it during working hours. I understand not everybody can watch during this time. My own team, a lot of them don't watch because they're working. But I'm learning stuff and I'm getting better at stuff and I'm fixing open source and I'm making things better. And there are people who will drop in and, you know, hang out. And I appreciate it. It's really fun. So right now we're going, 10 o'clock in the morning and kind of seeing how that goes. I may eventually change that. Maybe it'll be a 2 p.m. thing. But right here I can hit Europe and then there are people in the US. But yeah, I mean, so far that's the plan. We'll see. We may change things up, but that's what we're planning. If we did go to like 2 p.m., it would really exclude a lot of people over in like India and Russia and further east, probably Polish as well, or Poland as well. John says, yes, I'm Polish. I will say I don't know how good Rust's benchmarking tools are. C-Sharp's benchmark.net framework has been getting exponentially better. Hold on 1 second here. I'm back. yeah, I'm sure C# has some really cool tools. I mean, there's a lot of, Microsoft makes good stuff. I will look at the Rust code. I find that for things that require interactivity can be viewed as tiny programs, TypeScript is the best. Yeah, I do love TypeScript. All of this stuff's written in TypeScript. By the way, one snapshot updated. Interesting. So we have this story shot. So we have test, snapshots, story shots. Okay. So let me see here. This will be under boilerplate test. Replace that. And then if I go why is it not showing me? Okay, yeah, I think that worked. So I'm going to push that up, and then I'm going to run yarn CI test now. All right, we're going to let that roll. It's going to take a little while. That was helpful. Oh, before I do that, I need to upgrade glue gun to the latest. And then I'm going to do yarn y Ramda, and I hope it says nothing. Ah, yes. Nice. Okay, Ramda's gone. Push that up, and then I'm going to do yarn CI test here. All right, let's do it. Mark says, I watched Jamin in lieu of working. See, Friday isn't for working anyway. Yes, we're, quote, working, says Gant. Especially the Friday before a holiday week. Like, let's do fun stuff. Emotional support of team members trying to get their live stream channel off the ground counts as work, right? I agree, Mark. I could not agree more. Anybody doing client work right now is just, honestly, I don't know. Where are their priorities? Where are their priorities? That's what I like to ask myself. I hope no clients are listening. Skills says, what is this? Hi likes to have Society of Germans having, let's see here, Fierbend. Fierbend. I don't know how to say that. Free from work when he is still working. Feierabend. Feierabend. Abend. I think Abend means work, right? Or is it Arbeit? Abend. I'm trying to figure that one out. Yura says, maybe they just watch your stream on fake account because they're afraid that you will say, why are you guys not working? No, not true. Mark is on his own account, and I just commended him, as you see. Hey, other Justin B, this counts as training at work. I think you're right. I should hand out certificates, is what I should do. I should hand out certificates at the end of each stream. Anybody that stays with me gets a certificate in whatever I'm working on. Not everything is possible with native is possible with React Native, at least not yet. Correct, Ahmed says. A different Ahmed, I think, than our usual Ahmed. Correct, but that means you just drop down to native. and you just do it in native. Yura says, I'm from Ukraine and you and your company are famous in our React Native community. I appreciate that. We really, really try. And by the way, are there any like React or React Native conferences in Ukraine? Because it'd be cool to go there sometime. You can't write native lists, for example, in React Native. You can write a native list, and I will do it. I will do it on stream sometime, Ahmed. That is a challenge. I know how to do it. But you just write it in native, and then you expose, to React Native, right? Fjodorvend directly translated means party, evening. Oh yeah, Abend, it's like Guten Abend, evening, party, evening party. I've got Fjodorvend fire. Boy, I'm saying this so badly. Fire, yeah, fire Abend. Time to party, is what they're saying. Time to party. I get it. That makes sense to me. But hey, we're still learning, right? We're still learning. So this story shot, have any of you worked with story shots before? Have you worked with Storybook before? It's only possible with the new React Native architecture. So Ahmed, you're right if you're talking about from JavaScript, but you can write native modules and native components. What is this? Update snapshots for all files in Ignite CLI. Why is it telling me to do that? I don't want to do that right now. Also, Jess needs to stop running in VS Code when I don't want it to. Why is this thing saying that there's a failure? Command run. I feel like I'm just gonna quit that and open it again because I feel like something's screwed up there. We have just small React Native meetups in Ukraine. I had plans to visit a React Native conf in, I don't remember how to say Krakow. But COVID-19 just broke my plan, yeah. Well, there's the React Native conference in Wrocław in Poland. I don't think it's in Krakow. I don't know how to say that. But Wrocław. That CallStack does. But I want to go next time they have it. I want to go. I will meet you there. Right? Like that should be the plan. We should be doing that. API sauce and glue gun are good now. We've updated. Push that up. And now I need to go find... oh yeah, this one finished fine, so we're good. Okay, good. Let's go back to Ignite. Also, I need to go to actually do 2.1.5. I had a types issue. Done. Just making sure people know. Okay. Real quick. Give me a second here. I'm going to do a I'll be right back. Textbox.page, of course, my favorite note thing. And I'm also going to, maybe I should, you know what I should do? I should make a thing like that for just a website that lets me put up like stuff like this that would look really cool. And we would use that, or even like a React Native app that does that. You have predefined messages. You can also do your own. Yeah. Anyway, I'll be back. Okay. Hey, what happened to my music? What'd you guys do? Oh, it's back. Okay. I am back, and it did pass. We again have a snapshot failure here. Huh. Don't understand this. I feel like we made these changes. I'm just gonna do it in this one. Okay, so I guess I just do this again. Bar yarn test, and I think that the snapshot should fail, right? which is weird because no, it didn't fail. What is going on here? So it did not fail. But this one did. Test story shots. I mean, is it one of these other ones maybe? Like, let's go look at some of these. Oh, there's nothing there. Okay. Let's look at this one. I mean, I don't think that's the case. Nothing in that one. So we're just creating these folders and it's not actually doing anything. Okay. Nope, nothing there either. So I feel like this is the only one. Wait a minute here. Oh, there is... Never mind. There is one there. There's a foo there. Let's go to foo. cd foo. And yarn test. This one has PNPM though. This one's not yarn. Okay, let's run it with PNPM. Oh, app.js conf. Oh, yeah. I have not been to that one. Looks like we got a spammer over on YouTube, by the way. I have not been to app.js conf. Here's our problem. Our snapshots failed. So here's kind of an interesting thing. If I go PNPM, run test, update snapshots, I believe. Oh, I have to do this, I think. Just update, snapshot. Okay. The reason that, okay, look here. This is kind of a little thing. PNPM is like, hey, I don't recognize update snapshot. That's because you want it to pass it through. So I put a dash in front of that, and it says, hey, anything after this, pass it through to your command. So now it's running just update snapshot. And then we could copy this into, okay. So now there's an updated nine snapshots updated. Really? Wow. Okay. Oh, I guess that makes sense. So we're gonna copy. Let's see here. We're gonna grab. So let's just open a Finder. Go to test snapshots, and then we have this one. And then I just need to go to my boilerplate test snapshots and then just drag this one in there. The question I have is, will this work as expected? So, okay. So there's that. Spinning up app. Oh yeah. Okay. So, update snapshots again for PNPM. My worry here is that we're going to be in a situation where it's sort of this snapshots look this way if you run them with yarn, and they look this other way if you run them with PNPM. And that's going to be a hard problem to solve. It's going to be a very hard problem to solve. Um, so yeah, we gotta run this again. Now I'm curious if I could. Let me see here. Where's the other one? There's the other one. So what if I put this? So this is the one that I ran yarn on. What if I run yarn test on this one instead of npm test? That would actually tell me if this is problematic. If this one fails, then we got a problem, because basically the yarn one is not matching the PNPM one. It failed. Okay. 9. So we've got this collapsible thing and native ID thing. What is the difference between them? I wonder if they are resolving two different versions. Actually, hold on. Yarn lock, right? There's also a PNPM lock, which I should probably delete. And just yarn. This is the foo snapshots, which did pass, by the way. Okay, so if I do PNPM run test, right? This one passed. So this story shots was good. Let's verify that that's still the case, but let's watch. It passed. So this one should be good, but that's running it with PNPM, right? And then I'm going to run it with yarn with the same test snapshot, I believe. Let's verify that. This is Ignite. This is bar. Let's verify. So foo passed. Bar. We replace. Are there any differences? It looks like it's the same file there. Okay, so we're making progress. And now we're running yarn test. Why is this thing taking long? Maybe because this one's running. It's probably using up a lot of resources. Okay, so if yarn and PNPM do not do the same thing here, this could be problematic. Probably the way that they resolve dependencies, I would say. I'm not worried about this just haste map thing. I'm not worried about it. Watchman's not required for this. Okay, tell me what's going on here. This thing's still running. Okay. Story shots. Let's see if story shots happens. I mean, I could take that part of the test out. You know, it's not critical that story shots pass, honestly. I'm also really curious to know if I could run PNPM on the boilerplate folder and get the same results, because then it would circumvent a lot of this problem here. That's probably what I should do, to be honest. This is too long of a cycle. It takes too long. Yeah, okay, so they failed. So I'm going to go back here and probably we'll just cancel this because it honestly isn't useful. All right, let's go to boilerplate. What's currently there? It is a yarn lock. Okay, so if I yarn, I'll just make sure everything's yarned up properly. And I'm going to try it also with PNPM. So we're going to do it first with yarn. And then we'll upgrade the snapshots, and then we'll test it with PNPM. Okay, running yarn test. This should fail. This did not fail. Okay, so let's remove node modules. Actually, node modules and yarn.lock. Then I'll do PNPM install. Packages are hard linked from the content addressable store to the virtual store. Hard linked, okay, that's helpful. Got some pure dependencies missing, but that's okay. What? What's all this? Whoa, okay. This is interesting. Jetifier. I mean, I don't know. They're warnings. They're not errors. Okay. Well, let's do run test. See what happens. Am I missing something? By the way, we pod install on yarn and npm. Is this wasting time right here? We may not need this at all. We just have to run npm, well, PNPM. Okay, looks like we had the same just haste map issue here, but If this fails, that'd be interesting. Probably going to wrap up here in the next 10 minutes. We are making progress with the PNPM installation, integration fix for Ignite, but this snapshot thing is, whoa, okay, that just passed. Why did that pass? Okay, it removed a couple of things there. That's kind of interesting. AX constants. Updated Expo. Updated RNC async. Did some stuff there. glog. Updated some paths. Oh. This is all PNPM stuff. Okay. Remove the boilerplate lock. Okay, so if I remove, let's see here. RM, RF, node modules, and PNPM lock, and then I yarn it and yarn test it, that would be interesting to see if that. So I'm going back and forth. They both passed somehow. What do you guys use for backend? Ruby? Usually we're working for, generally speaking, when we're doing React Native apps, we are working with a backend team of some sort from the client. And so that can be a variety of things. That can be AWS serverless, that can be Ruby on Rails, that can be Node, that can be Elixir. We've even worked with Cold Fusion, believe it or not, for a backend. So we use anything that basically provides a, some sort of a, an API, and then we can work with any of those. GraphQL, worked with that. I've worked with non-GraphQL, REST. We've worked with, you name it, backends. If someone came to us and said, build our backend, we'd usually say no. But if we had the time and the, people to do it, a lot of it would be serverless, like AWS stuff, Node, things like that. It just makes sense to do it that way. So this Watchman thing is really slowing everything down. What's that Watchman reset command? It is npm watch del all. Let's do that. npx. Ooh. Okay. Interesting. So there were a lot of Watchmans out there. Okay, let's see if StoryShots passes as well here. This is an interesting thing. Oh, you know what I just realized? StoryShots does pass every time. The question is... okay. The question is, does it update the snapshot? What are you waiting for new updates in React Native? Fantastic question. Primarily the new architecture. That's the big one. That's the big one. The new architecture landing, which by the way we released this morning actually a new React Native radio. Radio.com. If I can type. ReactNativeRadio.com. If you go there, React Native Radio 222. The new architecture with Kevin Gozali from the React Native core team, which I need to. By the way, did this? Yeah, it didn't. It was fine. Let's see here. I'm gonna retweet this. One of my favorite interviews on the show. Kevin Gozali answers all kinds of questions that Mazen and I had about the new architecture for React Native. Check it out. Okay. So now I just need to do, yep. So it did modify those files. But it did not, it didn't update the story shot. So I don't know what's going on. Has something to do with that generating. Okay, so I don't understand this whole thing. Run test, run lint, compile, and then the diff. We are running them with npm run. Okay. And maybe npm run. Yeah, that seems to work fine. So the new architecture, React Native new architecture playbook. Yeah, that's going to be good to kind of dive into that. Okay. Well, okay. So I need to go do some more digging here. Let's go into zfoo and zbar. And I'm going to just pull these open. One of these I've done with yarn. I think that's this one here. Yep. So bar is yarn. And if I run yarn test, and on this one I run test. npm run test, actually, is what I should run. I should probably just run all the tests with just npm and not PNPM. I don't know. This is something that's just kind of got me a little bit baffled what to do here. So foo it passes. Bar. It should also pass. Yeah. 13, 15 seconds. Okay, this one did not pass. What's the difference here? Oh, hey, if I do a p run test. Ooh, this, I'm kind of on. Does this pass? If this passes, then I know what's going on. And we could get it to pass by just running it using P. Oh, okay, that did not run. That did not work. Okay, so let's do. There's so if I do get let's see here. Add app screens browser. Git commit browser. Okay, now let's run the test. So okay. So it's adding all of these things in there. I need to be able to diff those two. Can I just diff this and, whoops, test snapshots that with this test snapshots that. Oh, they're the same file. Okay. Good to know. So if I run, which one is this anyway? This one's yarn. Yarn test update snapshot. Okay, updated all 4 of them. So now it shows me all these differences, right? Curious if there's a difference in one of these. Because if I do npm run test and they both pass, now with the updated, that one passed. But it was 10 seconds. So was that okay? So they both passed, but with different snapshots. Ooh. There's a dependency problem here. Something going on. This collapsible stuff. Native ID stuff. This all, to me, feels like that thing that I removed. What was it anyway? Also, what is foo being built by? Expo app name is bar. That's why. Foo's the good one. Bar. That's why. That's why. So if we are Expo, so let's go back up to the top here. So if we are Expo, well, two things. One is in the boilerplate, we have a package Expo, and we are bringing in React Native. SDK 43, which I think we can update, but React Native. Do we not have React Native in here at all? It's a little weird. Oh, it's right there. Never mind. We removed a... Okay, so Expo... Yeah, it doesn't like this. Stop running, Jest. Spun up app. So this is where we do all this stuff. We generate stuff, and then the tests. So why in Expo are we, which is bar? That's the difference though. There's something going on in the way that we spin up an app with Expo versus how we spin up an app normally. So our package JSON, I guess we can just like compare the two, I guess, more or less. Let's look at this and go to our package JSON here and go down to, I'm actually curious if can I drag this across? Okay. So the left side is actually Expo. So we have Expo Webpack config. Interesting. Async storage. All right. And what versions of these are there? I'm going to have to pull it wider. You're probably not going to be able to see this, but 1.14. Okay. 6.01, 6.02, 6.01, 2.0, 43. Expos in both of these. Expo linear gradient, localization, core. Okay. Status bar. Okay. IETN is 3.8, MobX, and React is actually 17.0.2 versus 0.1. That's weird. Okay, maybe it's just an Expo thing. Wonder if that's causing any issues here. React Native safe area context is different for Expo. Curious if we need to update that. React Native screens 3.3.7, 501, 13. So there are a few little differences here. Dependencies, we got Babel. These are all similar so far. 523, 303, 17.0. Ooh. Our types for React are wrong. They're actually wrong in that one. Go back to our package here. Types 16. Yeah, this is wrong. We need to update those to At least 17. So, okay, that's helpful to know. Okay, yarn upgrade to latest. I don't know if, I think 17 something is probably best. Using Expo by default for projects when we can. Not always though. Can't use it always. 17.037. Okay. Why is that also in our package Expo? So I can actually remove this, and I would React DOM should also be updated. Types React Native. So types React Native is also way behind. I need to bump that up. Okay. Okay, that's so types React Native. That's set differently for Expo, I think. And then renderer 410, 410, 26, 6, 3, 822, 19.3. Detox Expo helpers is only on the Expo side of it, which is fine. Then we have ESLint. Config, prettier, blah, blah, blah. So far, so good. All of these look good. Expo Detox hook is its own thing, and auto linking. All right. And then FBJS scripts. Actually, we have Expo modules auto linking on both, but they're the same version. SBJS scripts, Jest, Circus, Expo, Jetifier, npm run all, patch package, post install prepare, prettier. These are all good. Good. What's React Native Web? What am I missing here? Oh, React Native Colo Loco's in there. React Strong Core Client and TS Just in that. Okay, so I think we got most of those, the differences there, in the boilerplate now. React DOM, and I don't know, do we need to leave this? I think we do actually need to leave this. Don't know what types React Native should be for a new Expo project. We should probably just spin one up and see. And these other things here too. Detox Expo upload. I'm curious. I'm still curious why this is happening, but it is 1:13 p.m. and I'm pretty wiped, so I think I'm gonna need to shut it down. But before I do that, I'm gonna kick off another test. See what happens. You know, it's always fun to do. I'm going to close these, foo and stuff like that. And we'll grab foo and bar after all of this. And yeah, I'll probably keep this kind of rolling, see how it goes. But for the most part, I'm done for today. So thanks everybody for hanging out with me today. It was fun. Thanks for all the questions, Yura. It was very, very cool to have you hanging out and asking questions and kind of interacting in chat. It's always cool. And I will be back, I don't know about Monday or next week at all, to be honest. We'll see. I might do some stuff, but I have next week off, so I'll see you the following week if not. Everybody have a very Merry Christmas and very happy holiday season for you, and I hope you have a good time. If you have time off, go have fun. Enjoy. Talk to you later. Yeah, see you all. Thanks so much for hanging out, Derek, Alpha.